Okay, today we're going to have a very quick lesson. Today is going to be directional terms, or excuse me, directional planes. We call these body planes. And body cavities. A cavity is an open area. If you go to the dentist and you have an open area in your tooth, that's called a cavity. You need to get it filled in. That's why I call it a filling. So the directional planes, there are three that you'll need to know. It's pretty straightforward. The first one is a side view. That's not the term. There is an actual term. So if I look at a human body like this, whoops, that's an ugly head. You're looking at them from the side. This is known as sagittal. Either the left side or the right side. Doesn't matter. Number two. This is a front or back view. You're either looking at them from the front or from the back. This is going to be frontal. And another term would be coronal. As you saw in that practice quiz we took, the term was frontal. You'll find in anatomy, there's multiple terms for the same thing. Yes.
So frontal is front and coronal is back?
No, frontal is front and back, and coronal is just a substitute for coronal. Or coronal is just a substitute for frontal.
So they're both front.
If I was looking at the back of your body, the back of your head, the back of your back, the back of your legs, that would still be considered a frontal plane. Oops. Okay, number three. The last one. Have any of you ever gotten an MRI before? Where you go in that tube and you hear all the clicking and you might listen, they might turn on to songs or whatever for you. Well, an MRI is a magnetic resonance imaging. It's basically a machine that cuts you up into slices. And it starts with your head and it just slices you like lunch meat. Not literally, but it's taking scans of every little piece of you. And then they can animate it to where it looks like it's starting with your head, then you see your brain, your skull, your eyes, then it goes down your throat. Okay, you see your heart, your lungs, liver, stomach, intestines, reproductive organs, then all the muscles and bones in your leg, all the way down your feet. So if I'm looking down or I'm looking up at structures, this would be known as transverse. So this is looking up or down view. This is going to be transverse. And that's it. So the way that your homework looks like, I'll try to do my best to draw it. Let's see if I can draw a person here. I'm not a bad artist, but this is going to be kind of tough. Hopefully you'll at least get the idea. I'm going to draw a plane and you tell me which kind it is, okay? Here we go. Oops, that's bad. try that again. Here we go. It's going right down the middle of a person, cutting them in half from left side to right side. You have a left half, you have a right half. What would that be? That would be sagittal. Okay. How about this? Right here, where cut them in half, top half, bottom half. Transverse. And if I try to do a frontal, it's going to be really messy here. Your homework has a much better image than what I'm doing. Talking all day. All right. The other part of today's lesson is going to be body cavities. You have 5. Remember, a cavity is just an open area. You have mainly 5 that you'll need to know. Now, if you want to learn how to try to draw a sagittal plane of someone, I'm going to help you guys get started here. And you may never take an art, you may never doodle before. This might help you out. Start here. Start with the jawbone. Do that. It's like a laying down L. Okay. And draw a little curve for the chin. Go up a little bit for the mouth. And then a protrusion sticking up for the bottom of the nose. And then draw the slope of the nose. Their forehead go out a little bit and then round it out. Whoa, that's really big. Try it again. There we go. Draw the neck. And there you go. You have a head. We're going to go a little further. We're not going to draw an arm here. The arm would get in the way. Let's draw their chest. And their waist. And their lower body. That's about it. Okay, we're going to draw 5 cavities in this person, and we're going to label them and identify what structures and what organs would be in these body cavities. And I think you're going to figure out what they are. First one is the cranial cavity. Can you tell me what's in the cranial cavity? Your brain, of course. And what's connected to your brain? The spinal cord. Good. That's our second cavity. Your spine has a tube going through it where your spinal cord fits. This is known as your spinal cavity. Whenever you hear of people being paralyzed, either below the waist or below the neck, this is what's damaged. Their spinal cord. It's most likely what's damaged. Okay. Next. This is the thoracic cavity. What body parts are within your thoracic cavity? Your chest. Yes. No, the ribs are forming the cavity. They're like the walls of the cavity. What's in the open area? The lungs and the heart. Okay. Next, we have your abdominal cavity. We're going to have a lot here. What is in your abdominal cavity? Just don't hog them all. Say one. Just, okay. What else? Which ones? You're hogging them all. Small intestine, large intestine. What else? What's behind the liver and the stomach? When you get cancer of this, it's pretty much game over. Pancreas, kidneys. Okay, good. Gallbladder, if you want to throw that in there, little guy. There's a lot in your abdominal cavity. Okay, and the last one is down here. It's your pelvic cavity. Oops, ran out of room there. Your pelvic cavity is going to have your reproductive organs and bladder. If you're a female, your pelvic cavity is going to have your uterus and bladder. If you're a male, your pelvic cavity is going to have your prostate and your bladder. That's about it. These are the 5 body cavities and the 3 body planes. Any questions? Yes. Scroll down, just the pelvic cavity, reproductive organs and bladder. Okay. So I want to show